Hello. How's everybody
afternoon.
doing? Happy Tuesday. I love it. So on our system, it says it's showtime when it's 12:30, which is so cool. So how are you guys doing? Welcome to Donna and Cheryl TV. Coming at you with some keeping it real talk. Cheryl, me and the guys were doing it last week. It's just not
I didn't
the same.
do that yesterday.
You didn't, I know.
didn't keep it real.
You were just so excited to be with me.
God, we're doing this all the way through.
We were doing it last week and we look ridiculous. But anyway, keeping it real with you. And yes, we are here with you for about 50 minutes or so to give you some bite-sized life coaching advice. And this week, we are really zoning in on our beliefs. Because what we don't always realize is the results that we're getting in life, when we don't like the result, we tend to really focus on the action around the result. And that's not really the issue, is it, Cheryl?
No.
It's about what's sitting under all of that. So we're going deep with you this week, people.
It's about what's going on in your head. It's about what's going on in your head. It all starts within here. Everything comes from here. So yesterday, hi Mel. Yesterday we were talking around just what our beliefs, how beliefs formed, good beliefs, great beliefs, fabulous beliefs, and then also limiting beliefs. So today we want to talk a bit more and share some of our life lessons around where we've had limiting beliefs about something which has stopped us from achieving something, which has held us back. Thank you. Nice to see your name too. I was going to say nice to see you.
Steph will be so happy with that. Hi. I don't know if you caught it yesterday. She had a right cop on because we had more views on the days that Cheryl wasn't here.
Yeah.
So she wasn't feeling the love. So she's going to love this comment.
On my channel. No, but on my actual own Facebook page, like triple the amount of people watching it last week when I wasn't there. Feedback's a gift. Basically, don't turn up your own TV show. So we're going to share some stories about where we've had something that we wanted to achieve, but actually we've formed a limiting belief about ourselves, because the limiting belief's about ourselves, not the thing. It's not a belief about the thing we want. It's about ourselves and why we can't achieve that. Seemingly can't achieve it, because it's all going on in here. Anyone can have anything that they want in the world. Everything is possible for anyone, but we have all of this stuff going on which holds us back. So
yeah, we tell ourselves we can't have something, so we form the belief that we're not good enough for it, or it's out of our reach, or because our parents didn't have it that we can't have it. And the scary thing is with that, like we talked about yesterday, that then creates a blind spot. So then you don't come back around and challenge that belief to see whether or not you can have it. So today we want to try and help you see how you are like sabotaging your results all over the place without even realizing that you're doing it, just because of how you're talking to yourself, because of how you're seeing your life and your options, and not realizing that that's what you're doing day to day, because you're so used to hearing your own inner chatter and your outer chatter that you don't stop and go, is that true?
Do I have any evidence to back up that fact?
Do I have any evidence? And sometimes, you'll, like when people say, well, where would I start looking for this? It's like, just think about areas of your life when actually you'd like to create bigger results, greater results, happier results, more results that are more in balance with the vision that you'd really hold for your ideal life. Start there. What do you tell yourself about why you can't have what she's got over there or what he's got over there? It's always a good place just to start having a little poke around, because there's usually something there where you're not getting the results that you'd really want, and you're settling, you are compromising. So talk to me, guys. So does this ring true? Are you aware of certain areas of your life where you self-sabotage? Are you aware of certain areas of your life where you'd love astounding success, but actually you don't feel good in that area of your life right now? It could be relationships. It could be with your weight. It could be with your exercise. It could be you as a parent. And then we'll have a little poke about to see what's in there. So you had this big thing about you and stuff as well, didn't you, when you were...
So when I went to school in the 80s, I know it was a long time ago. Wow.
Leg warmers were
in fashion. Makes us feel depressed even thinking about it. When I went into primary school, I loved school. I was always a top achiever. And then when I went into senior school and had the different label and had the fitting in label and not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, so I was just doing anything. My priority was to fit in, was to not be different. not achievement. And I'm an intelligent person, and all of my school reports were all like, she just talks too much. I was a class clown, basically. That's the role that I took on at school. So I went through 5 years of senior school, left with 1 GCSE, which is ridiculous because I was still in all the top sets. So I didn't get put down in the bottom sets. I was in all the top sets, and I left with 1. My mum even sent us to get tutoring in English, even though I was really great at English, to try and like redeem it. I ended up having to go back and resit my English. So I ended up with 2 GCSEs. Then I left school and went straight into a white yes. I just went straight into work. I had 2 jobs. So I'd kind of like gone from really loving learning and education to being the class clown, and then being disappointed really with what I'd achieved. And then obviously just went to work. But I always had this thing, like, we know I love learning, I love development, I love personal development, and did lots of stuff at work around like leadership and coaching. And then, but I always had this thing about the fact that I hadn't got my exam results. And then I was offered a fantastic opportunity from one of Donna and I's bosses. Said, well, why don't you go and do a degree? I was 30, in my mid-30s, single parent, working full-time, traveling a lot, because I had this inner desire to just do more. So I goes off. I actually did it the hard way. I didn't go to uni for 3 years. I went and did a 2-year foundation where they don't teach you how to write dissertations in college. It's college-y. Then I did it my top-up year at uni and got the shock of my life, because then I had 1 year to basically get my degree when I hadn't been taught how to write anything. So it was more difficult because I had to learn in that year how to actually write papers.
How to structure it.
So I went long, and I did. I passed my business degree with a 2-1. Bearing in mind, like, I'd had a year to kind of work out how to do it, and I felt very proud of myself. And I suppose it wasn't really about the fact that I wanted a business degree. It was about the fact that I wanted to disprove a belief that I had about myself that I held for so long, about the disappointment about not achieving my results. So, I then got the evidence to back up the fact that I can do whatever it is I want to do. So it was more of, it wasn't about the degree, really. It was about my internal thing where I'd been sabotaging myself because I felt like a bit of a failure because I hadn't got my results when I was at school, which I was capable of doing. That's the difference.
Well, you wouldn't have been saying to yourself back then, I'm capable of doing it, I just haven't done it. You then label yourself with everyone saying, well, you don't apply yourself, you're not disciplined, you're not this, da, 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 da. Yeah. And Wendy was saying for her, it's around like the food thing, which, Wendy, this is so common. So many clients say this to each other, that you start well on the day, you have all these good intentions at the beginning of the day, and then it gets worse, so that you're eating crap on an evening. So it's like, what beliefs have you formed about yourself and your ability to eat well, to optimize your health, to look after your food? Like, what belief do you have about it?
Yeah.
Like for me as well, because I was thinking this, and I know we're always sharing stories, but the one that was actually coming into my mind when I talked about it was, I basically, when we applied to universities, I'd applied to go, I wanted to go to Leicester because I wanted to study classical Italian, which I hadn't done before. I did at A-level, I did German and French, but I wanted to study Italian. But I can't remember really the detail now. I didn't get into Leicester. I think I needed a B for something and I got a C or something. This was back in the day when people got actual like A's and B's and C's. You didn't get all A's for your A levels. Like you got like a rainbow. So I remember then I had to go to Liverpool Uni. So I went to Liverpool Uni, which had just been like a backup plan, and I had to study Spanish and French, which was a bit of a kink in the tail because I don't like Spanish. I had no intentions of learning to speak Spanish, so I wasn't very happy. So bearing in mind, I'm going in at degree level and I don't speak a word of it. And the course was designed for that, of course. So I just used to love my French like lessons. I did politics, I used to love them, and I just hated Spanish lessons. So then in year 2, I then has to turn up in Spain and being able to speak Spanish, which I couldn't because it basically ignored all my lessons, or year 3, whichever year it was, the 3rd year, I think it was. And I just remember doing France first and then getting to Spain and just not being able to speak a word of it. Like literally couldn't string a word, was thinking in French, dreaming in French, could not string a French word together. And I just kept saying, you're crap, you can't speak Spanish. Your 3rd language, you've done one too many, you should have stuck with 2 languages. So this was what I was telling myself over and over. And I remember coming home for my 21st birthday for a few weeks and thinking, this is ridiculous. At some point, you're going to have to sit your exam. So you have to start to believe, or whatever words I used, that you can speak Spanish. So just imagine if you could speak it, what would it look like? So bearing in mind, like, I'm at home, and what this teaches us is a lot around when you're in your conscious thinking. That's not where your inspiration is, when you relax a little bit. And I went back to Spain, and I remember it was just like somebody had given me a pill. Like I could just speak it. And like I remember going to see one of my friends, Lisa, in Zaragoza, and she, like, one of the guys was talking, and she turned around to translate. So I just answered him in Spanish, and she was like, when did you actually learn to speak it? I went, I think I always could. I had just told myself that I couldn't.
Yeah. It was all in there.
She was literally like, but
Mad.
nothing had changed. I still wasn't going to uni lectures about it or anything like that. I just had decided, like, this is ridiculous. All I'm doing is giving myself a headache every day, acting like I can't speak it. Just pretend that you can and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've left this comment up just because I want to, I too think the badge proves I'm capable. Yes. So I'd love to know more about that. We haven't got your name, because back then, because I was lacking self-worth and I didn't feel good enough, the external badge was to give me worth and to make me feel good enough and to make me feel, oh, I can get a degree. I proved it to myself. So I'm interested to know more about, because you've got a little question mark about how that's shown up for you.
And remember, this is a bit like what we were saying on my example of getting the job. So I'd think, well, if I get that job, if I'm site leader, I'll feel like somebody believes in us. So you get site leader, you get 6 figures, you get this, you get the car. Like it didn't make me feel any better. It just made me feel like I had further to fall.
Yeah. So Wendy's saying, I have a belief that I know it all via my boss work, but don't have the stickability to put it in practice consistently.
So what's the belief that you'd like to have, Wendy? Hey, Samantha.
Hi, Steph. It's funny, there's always limiting beliefs as I listen to the voices that said, no, you can't do it. Yes, you chose to tune into, because we all have a can't coming through our heads. It's about just letting that pass through and choosing a different thought.
And look, you're going to have limiting beliefs, right? Because your limiting beliefs is coming from your fear, which is trying to keep you safe so that you don't get hurt and you don't look like a total dickhead trying to do something that you're not very good at. We get it, okay? If you think about your parents when you're little, like we constantly are sort of saying to our kids, oh, well, it doesn't matter if you don't win, as long as you tried, like we're setting them up not to win. And
it's about having fun.
It's about having fun. 10th place is just as good as first. Which it is, but it's like how we do it. Sometimes we don't do it in the most helpful way. But whenever you're then stretching for something else, you're going to have bigger limiting beliefs come in, because they're going to keep coming, or in some way, shape or form, to try and keep you coming back to your safe zone. And it's what time now, it's very well documented that this is a line that you've got to get up to and you have to go through. And when you go through it, you'll get comfy again and you're going to have to go. Life is about keep going through that cycle. This is about how you do it without making yourself miserable, and understanding which bit is you, which bit is your fear, and which bit's your identity that you can retrain. That I'm on my way to being energetic, slim, supple and easy. Easily stay that way.
How long's the way? Is it like 10 years away? Is it 100 miles away? Is it here? Is it now? On my way.
And what we tend to do with stuff like this, weight's a really good example. Like I've done it myself over the years. You don't enjoy the process. So you hate where you are and you want to be over there. And it's like this race to get there. And if we just enjoyed the process of learning about our healthy habits, of getting better at sleeping, of nourishing our body rather than thinking of food as treats like we're dogs, like if we just could enjoy that, it would be so much better. And often there's a payoff. So when you're sitting on the night time, it's 9:30 and you decide to start hitting the biscuit tin or snacking, it's like, what's going through your head then? What beliefs have you got about yourself? What are you declaring about yourself then that's making it okay, that the payoff's okay to have the biscuit rather than sticking to the healthy you, which is really who you are inside?
But language-wise, Wendy, I am on my way, right? Where you could be on your fucking way for like 100 years. So it's like you've got the I am, energetic, slim, supple and easily. But actually, if the on my way is what you've got in there, then you could be on your way for the rest of your life. So just from a language point of view, we need to get that. We need to get the on my way to being out, because our positive affirmations, remember, I am, it's already happened. it's already, the desires, it's already happened. This is how we have to approach it from. It's already happened. So you are coming from the place of being energetic, slim and supple rather than being on your way, which could take forever.
And sometimes if the affirmation feels too far away from where you are now, be affirmative about what you're doing. So it might be like, every day I'm making the healthiest choices for me. Yeah. Every day I'm choosing to come from my healthiest self. Every day I'm choosing to tap into my inner well-being, something like that. So that if that feels better, because if saying I'm slim and all this is like just, if you're not actually believing that when you say it to some extent, sometimes it's better to tweak it a little bit.
Fucking sick of it to death of my safe zone. Okay.
Everybody's bringing in the F-bombs today. Can you imagine what the market is going to be like on Thursday?
It's a good job Yvette's got a coaching session in 10 minutes.
Yvette's in our mastermind.
Try to
freaking ever. And it's not, and whilst you're joking about it and pulling you up, coaching moment, when we joke about things, it's kind of like we're giving ourselves permission to fail under the banner of it being a joke, right? So when we use our humor to mask things like that, which I know you'll say you're being funny and it is, it's cute, but it's like if you're saying that is actually your fear showing up with a different mask on. Yeah. So as about before, Donna Elliott said a winding road was better, a long old road. Again, a long old road. That doesn't make you feel excited. That doesn't make you feel excited, Wendy.
A long old
It's the real you call tonight. Let's do this.
Come on.
Let's do this. And Steph's saying, I've learned now to quiet the naysayers and focus on what I want and how I'm going to get there. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll talk about focusing on what you want a lot in the masterclass on Thursday.
Wow. Amazing session. Thank you so much for interacting and being vulnerable.
Yes. So really look at where you sabotage and think about what your limiting beliefs are, or the negative inner dialogue is the same way of saying that around that area, and how are you blocking your own success? If you haven't already booked onto the masterclass, Cheryl and I have basically paid so that more people can come because we had so many people asked to come. So we have paid for some more seats.
We've got 500 seats now.
500 seats, let's fill them. So we want you to come, pay it forward, send the link to anybody else, send it to your friends, put it if you're in any networking groups where you think women might want to come, or men, and start getting better at their self-confidence. And let's do this. Because can you imagine a world where people are stepping out feeling so much more confident, so much more capable, what they'll be doing in their businesses, how they'll be taking their whole selves into the world. Like, it's so exciting. Oh, sorry, Cheryl. Yvette. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, who's saying, agree, Yvette's still in the safe zone. Sorry, it's not bringing your name up. But I think the limiting belief is that I'm not recognizing it as progress because my life is still in turmoil. Strong language.
It's not in turmoil. Because your life isn't in turmoil. Sorry. It feels safe. Yeah.
Yeah. And we get addicted to stress. Stress is a very, very addictive state to be in. So it's just about creating that belief that this is your new normal. Right, we have to go now.
We've been really keeping it real today.
Keeping it real. There's been F-bombs, truth bombs. I've, coached, given Wendy a little coaching moment, which she'll slap me for later. So we are off. We are coaching people today. We've got 2 group coaching sessions. We are getting coached twice today by our business coach and by our spiritual coach. So I'm so excited for that.
And we've got a one-on-one coaching session.
It's all going down, and we're getting ready to prep. We've got some last-minute touches to the presentation and for the masterclass on Thursday. So we're so excited. So you've got literally 24 hours now to sign up. 24 hours to sign up to the masterclass.
Do it.
Right. Love you all, bunches. Have an amazing day. Take care of yourself and think confident thoughts. See you soon.